What up guys, so here we are with a new shoe review. I'm gonna do this in a couple of different parts and I'm gonna make it as quickly as possible because I tend to just start blabbing about stuff. I'm gonna compare, I'm just gonna do a direct comparison with the alphazoom Pegasus 35s. Yes, I bought another pair of shoes. Because once I put them on in the store, guys, I just was like, I want these. I just love the way they feel. And I love the way they look as well. I think they look really sleek. They might not be as eye-catching as the React, in the sense if you know what React is. If you're just a casual person in the gym or on the street, you probably won't even look at this. You just say, oh, cushion, okay, cool. Unlike some of the like the Air Max 270, which is very eye-catching. You can't help but look at this huge bubble. The reason I got this basically is because when I put it on, I felt my heel sink into like the Zoom air pocket, and I really like that. Whereas in the React, your foot really doesn't sink in the middle because the cushion is just everywhere. Everything sinks, but mostly when you're running, not when you're walking. Boost is more of the cushion you want if you're just gonna be walking, or these are also great to walk in. So I was gonna retire another one of my pairs of shoes, the original Saucony Isos. I don't know why. It looks the same. It's just like when I wear them around, I'm like, man, these things just aren't that comfortable anymore. So I'm pretty much thinking about retiring those, and that's why I got these. If you want to see these side by side, I did notice something. If I go by length, lined up as best as I can, the Pegasus are longer by just a little bit, and they're the same size. Both are 8.5s. This feels a little wider in the forefoot just by a little bit. So once it's on my foot, once I adjusted the lacing system, these feel good. I would really like to compare. Like getting these on, I'll admit, getting the Reacts on is a little bit of a pain in the ass because of the fly knit. It's all one sock light fit, but this has a tongue, but it's deceptive. It still is connected to the shoe. It's connected all inside here on each side. So it's not like one of the old school tongues. It's just like, it's just not like this. It's not like a sock-like tongue, but it still is sort of connected, just differently. So if I was wearing them both, which I've never done this, I'm going by fit and not comfort here, guys. Okay, both on. They're very similar feeling, except, you know what? Man, I'm very shocked. The Pegasus in the front have less of a presence on your foot, is where you will just forget you're wearing shoes. The React cushion is so big and thick that when you're walking in them, you can't help but feel it. So I'd love to get you guys a bottom shot of these right now, but there's really no good place I could place the phone. So, but just by explaining the differences, walking is good in both. I will say the Pegasus offer. A lot of people say like they offer a little bit more support. I don't really know if I agree with that fully, because the width of the React is wide enough to where you don't have to worry about your ankle rolling. But you know what? I do feel the Reacts give way a little too easy. So unless you're running straight and you don't have any ankle problems or pronation problems, both shoes would be fine. They're both basically a neutral shoe. The girl that was trying to sell me the shoes, I mean, she wasn't like actively really trying to sell me, but I was just trying to tell, like, I already have the Reacts, and then some people, some salesmen think, oh, well, God, this guy's just got the Reacts, he doesn't really need shoes. But, then you got shoe fanatics like myself, who just want something different. It could be good, just as good, but in a different way. So I feel that these Pegasus are good, just as good as the Reacts, but in a completely different way. I like the front. I think that they have a transition period when you're rolling versus the React, which the React do sort of have the way like a horse runs. It's the transition is not that great as far as propelling you forward. And I'm not saying that the shoe isn't great. I said it many times, it's probably one of my favorite shoes of all time to actually run in. But if I'm just talking walking, the transition is better in the Pegasus. It just seems to want to push me forward. Whereas the React is basically just cushioning my foot, especially the back, especially just everywhere really. I think that's the problem, is that when you're walking in shoes like Boost or you're walking in shoes like React, you're basically just getting a 100% cushioned ride, but it's not really propelling you. It's more absorbing everything. Whereas this does a specific job of sort of propelling you forward, because if you look at the bottom in a specific way, it does sort of have a funny arch to it. I'm not saying dramatic, but it's got a curve to it. It's got a curve to it specifically, especially this heel. This heel is completely curved for heel strikers. You strike here, it's gonna move you. It's purposely gonna move you. Whereas that's not really the case with the React. It does indeed have a little bit of a curve as well, but it's not dramatic enough because of the cushion type. Because no matter what, I mean, you can compress this stuff like it's no problem, just like Boost. You can just push on Boost. Whereas this, if I'm trying to push on it, it doesn't want to push. It just doesn't want to go. But when your weight's on it, it's a different story. It will compress when you're running. That's why I believe that some people might prefer this to run in over the Reacts. I don't know if you have to be. I think this will support a little bit of a heavier frame. Let's just put it that way. Alright guys, so I'm going to take a quick run and I will report back to see. Honestly, I'm going to give you my honest thoughts. I hope I like them. I've never run in them before, so this is going to be a first honest impression compared to the Reacts, which I love running in. So, indeed, these feel different when you're running. Hold on a second. Woo! The main difference. It's very hard to explain these Pegasus, what they feel like, because it's not like you can't feel the road in these. You can definitely feel the road, more so than you can in the Reacts. I think they're just maybe a tad, I just want to say like a tad heavier than the Reacts, but not enough to where you would probably notice. They're both very light. It's just something about the Pegasus, they feel closer to racing shoes. Like a very good racing shoe, whereas the Reacts just feel like a very good running shoe. So I feel like if you're gonna do sprints, I would rather do sprints in these. I do feel more of just a forward momentum. I got less tired, even though, I'm having some gasping for breath right now. That's because I just literally walked in the door and hit record to give you my impressions. But I usually I have like a quick recovery. It's just since I'm talking and stuff and thinking. But let's look at the compression. Yeah, there's quite a bit of compression already. Less than I would think in the front though. But yeah, there's a big old crease. A big old crease is gonna start on the outside of the foot, that's for sure. Both outsides have this big crease right above the Zoom logo. I didn't have any traction problems. So the first thing I noticed basically about these shoes was that they just really don't feel like shoes. It's very unique. It's like you're just running. It's like an extension of your foot, except it's cushioned. And that's not how the React work. You know you're wearing something. Like you know you're wearing something special, but not everybody wants to feel just this uber amount of cushioning. Some people just want to run, sort of like a minimalistic shoe. I really consider this a minimalistic shoe. I really do. I've seen really minimalistic shoes where guys basically have rubber on their feet and that's about it, but no thanks for me. These really just feel like a really good running shoe and maybe even a better sprinting shoe. Guys have ran long distance in them before. I know Kavuzi said he loved the way these felt. He seems to get problems in his feet later on, except he did about, I don't know, he said past 7 miles or so, he gets like a sort of pain in his feet, but it's not really that bad. He can still continue to, you know, hit his 10 miles or whatever he hits. But he said Boost, this is what's surprising to me, is he really liked the Boost running shoes, the Parlays, I believe they're called. He really liked them, and my Boosts are a little bit too clunky. I never really even tried to do a speed run on my Boosts, but maybe I should, just to compare it, just for the heck of it. But my Boosts are the trail rated ones, so there's a little bit more meat to them. The tread's thicker, so who knows. But that's it for today, guys. Pegasus 35 win. I don't think you can go wrong either way. If you want to get the Reacts, these are the same price as the other Reacts, the Odyssey React. So whether or not you want the Zoom Air or you want the React, that's really up to you. If you're a heavier guy, if you're heavier, I would actually suggest the Pegasus. If you're really light, say like under 120 pounds, React. So right now I'm at 152 pounds. I'm right at that part where they're both good. So I like them both, but I did feel a little bit more of a propulsion towards movement with the Pegasus. So and this is the first Pegasus that I've ever owned. I've tried on other ones and I didn't like them. These I really like. It's hard to explain, guys. When I'm walking, I feel like they're just an extension of my feet. No other shoe feels like that. It's just the way they fit around my foot. They're snug, but they're not too tight, and they're breathable. They just feel like mini extensions of your feet. Whereas no Boost feels like an extension of my foot. I can tell you that, because it is great. Boost is life. You know, people love Boost. But Boost does not feel like an extension of your foot. It feels like you're wearing clouds. Depends what you like, guys. Depends what you like. If you want something that is an extension of your foot, these are them. So they're just solid, guys. I don't know. They have that pointy heel thing. That's kind of cool. Really help propels you forward. I don't know. What do you want? Huh? Say goodbye. Bye.